Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be customizing the Overflod Imorgon in Grand Theft Auto Online, or the Overflod Imorgon, I guess, if you want to say it like a weirdo, but I'm going to call it the Imorgon because I think that's how it probably should be pronounced. So anyways, I don't think I've ever customized this car on the channel. I've definitely customized it before, but anyways, we're going to get started right now with the armor. We're going to go all the way up on this. The brakes, we're going to go all the way up on those as well. For the bumpers, we do have front and rear bumper options for this car. Now you can make this thing look pretty aggressive from what I remember. You can also make it look, you know, a little bit more tame, I guess is the word I would use. I think that I kind of want to go for a more casual build today, so I think I'm just going to go for the carbon stock bumper. For the rear bumper, we can go for some different diffusers here. Some of them are pretty aggressive looking, so I'm not going to go for anything too crazy. I think I'm probably just going to go for the carbon diffuser on the back. I think it looks pretty good, so we'll go for that. For the interior, we can change it to some sort of a racing setup. There's all kinds of different ones that you can actually go for. Yeah, like I said, I kind of want to go more casual today, but having the ability to do all of these different setups is pretty crazy. But yeah, we're going to keep it stock today just because I don't really want to do anything too nuts. For the engine tune though, we are going to go all the way up on that. For the exhaust on this car, we have the titanium tipped carbon exhausts, the big bore, the titanium twin big bore, or the chrome of that as well. I think the titanium kind of accents it nicely, so we'll go for that today. Why not? For the grill, we can go for the carbon grill insert, or we can go for the plastic grill insert. Let's go carbon. Let's make it look, you know, let's make it kind of, you know, line up with everything else that we're doing. For the hood options, the hoods on this car are like exceptionally ugly. Like what is that? The single vented hood just all the way across, like that's really hideous. And then you got the double vented hood, which is just two of them, and it's even worse. The quad vented hood is like okay looking, but none of them are good enough to put on the car, I don't think. So we're gonna avoid that right now. Xenon for the headlights for sure. Let's put a neon kit on here just because I want to see what that does for the performance. If you didn't know, the neon kit lowers the center of gravity slightly, so it makes the car, you know, handle just a little bit better. So now for the livery options, we have the Overflod stripes, or the alternate Overflod stripes. We have the Amigas Racing, the Stuck in the 90s, Sprunk Racing, LTD Racing, Cerveza Baracho, Kisama Beer, Zero Gas, Raga Rum, Muscle Gymnasium, Mean Machine, and Back to None. Now, unfortunately, there's not really like any sort of casual liveries for this. It's either like race car or just not. And as a result of that, today I think we're just going to go with no livery. For the mirrors, though, we will go for some carbon fiber mirrors, and for the plate, we will go yellow on black for sure. For the color, oh, that's an odd color switching point there. So I guess we're making the car all one color. It's just a matter of what color we want to make the car. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I almost like olive green on it. Sea green is okay. Racing green's alright. The yellows look okay. You know, somehow, some way, do yellow actually looks like okay on this car. I've been doing a lot of orange recently. I've been doing a little bit of red recently. I feel like this car does look kind of good in like a rolled steel sort of color. I think we're gonna go with that today because, well, I don't really know what else to put it in, so we'll go rolled steel for the primary and the secondary. For the trim color on the interior, could do a splash of color here, maybe a little bit of red, like a garnet red, just to sort of break things up a little bit. Now for the roof, we can go for a primary roof, which is the same because I didn't change the color. We can also go for the carbon roof. Now the carbon roof is tempting to me because I typically like carbon roofs on my cars, but how it joins up with the car really doesn't sit right with me, and I don't think that I'm going to be able to do it just because of that. So we're just going to leave the roof completely stock. I just don't see a point in changing it. We can go for a carbon skirt though, or primary skirt. We're going to go for the carbon skirt because we need some more carbon on the car. Now for the wings are odd with this car from what I remember. So we got the upper mounted spoiler, carbon upper mounted as well. We have the tuner spoiler, we also have that in carbon. The high racing spoiler, and in carbon. The GT spoiler, guess what? And in carbon. Amazing. We have the big wing, guess what? Also in carbon. Oh my god. Okay, and then we have the curved spoiler, And it's also in carbon as well if you want. Angled spoiler, guess what? Yep, carbon angled spoiler. Okay, so we have every single spoiler in regular or carbon. I kind of think that I like the look of the tuner spoiler the best, and I definitely do want to put a spoiler on this vehicle. But actually, you know what? The Carbon GT spoiler is a little bit smaller, so let's do that one instead because it kind of fits a little bit better. Now, we do have some sun strips on this thing that we can add on. Oh, we can also have some quarter covers as well. I didn't realize that was a thing. That's kind of cool. I like how the texture is in like 240p. That's actually really awesome. Yeah, so I don't think we're gonna add anything to the car. Yeah, none of that looks good, so we'll avoid that. We will slam the suspension all the way down though, for sure. The race transmission, we got to put that on. For the wheels, you may notice there was no turbo option there. Yeah, we'll get into that when we talk about this car a little bit more in the review. For the wheels though, what do we want to go for? Could go for some like cheetah carbons or something like that. Could go for some solars, cheetah RRs, Mercy CH lips. I don't know. None of the wheels look good on this car. What wheel is that I'm thinking of? Is it the Hyperfresh? The Hyperfresh is almost the stock rim on the. Actually, no, it's not. Wait a minute. This shares the exact same wheels as the Ocelot Lynx. That's the car that I was trying to think of. Yeah, it shares the same wheels with that. That's kind of interesting. I do actually kind of like the Hyperfresh on it though. I feel like they're quite good looking. Let's check under the track category though, just in case. The High Five, Superlux, you know what? The Expressways almost fit this car, I feel like. Except they don't. No wheels look good on this car. I think it's because it's an ugly car. I'm just gonna be blunt. It's not a good looking car, this. Which is unfortunate, but it's the truth. What the hell do I put on this thing? Endos? Maybe endos. You know what? Let's do endos. I never do endos, and they like kind of, sort of, almost sort of work on this car. For the wheel color, do we just go black? Do we go stone silver? We go for like a crazy midnight purple, midnight blue. No, that doesn't look very good. Bronze, could go bronze. No, we're just gonna go black because it just looks the best. Let's go bulletproof on the tires for sure. The windows, let's tint those all the way out. Yeah, like I said, there's no turbo option. That's because this thing is weird. So we're gonna take it outside quickly. We got to do a sound test on the vehicle. So let's just take a listen, and then of course we're gonna talk about it. So as you guys can probably hear, it's not very loud, and the engine sound is like kind of pathetic sort of sounding. Like I said about the turbo option there, or the lack thereof a turbo option for this vehicle, the reason for that is because technically this car is some sort of hybrid. I'm not exactly sure how it works. I'm kind of inclined to say that it runs on like propane or something, because I feel like that makes sense given the like sort of pathetic engine sound and everything. Of course I could be totally wrong, but I know that it is a hybrid of some degree because that's what it's classified as in GTA, which I do think is very odd because obviously it has exhausts and it has an engine upgrade, it has a transmission, but it doesn't get the turbo upgrade, which is strange to me. But yeah, it's some sort of hybrid sort of thing. I'm not really sure about it, but that's the reason that there's no turbo upgrade. Now, I will say, despite the turbo upgrade, this is a very good car. It's a top 10 fastest sports car in GTA Online for circuit racing, which is pretty awesome. It definitely could be a lot better if it did have a turbo upgrade. I feel like if it did have a turbo upgrade, this thing could damn near be the best sports car for racing in GTA Online, because the handling on this vehicle is absolutely phenomenal. It handles like a dream, except for when I almost fly off a cliff. That never happened before. Yeah, it handles really, really well. It's super planted. It goes exactly where you kind of want it to go. It does have a little bit of a weird sort of oversteer, understeer thing when you get to sort of the limit of the grip. And obviously, yeah, I just hit a car. So yeah, but no, it really is actually a pretty good car, and especially for racing, it's definitely a good one to have. Now, it does come at a cost. It's almost $2.2 million. which is a little on the steep side, especially considering that you can get the Italy GTO for just under $2 million, and it's the fastest sports car in the game, and it will walk this thing around a track. So you have to keep that in mind for sure. I also don't think that the Overflod Imorgon is particularly a good looking car. I think it's very ugly, to be completely honest. I don't like the look of this vehicle whatsoever. It's just not good looking, unfortunately. So that does kind of suck. The customization, I also feel like, doesn't really fit the car very well. Like the wings and stuff like that, like they're not very good looking on the vehicle. And I just wish that it had some, you know, overall more customization that we could do to it to try to make it look a little bit better. But at the end of the day, I think it just is an ugly car, and I don't think that customization would really improve it that much, although it would still be nice to see some more customization for sure. Overall, the Overflod Imorgon is a good car, despite everything that I've just said about it. The handling is really good, the acceleration is phenomenal. Top speed, though, a little bit on the weaker side. Would I recommend picking it up for $2.2 million? I don't know, honestly, because if you're planning on racing, you should just buy an Italy GTO, and it's kind of a heinous looking vehicle and kind of really ugly for free mode. So it's like, I just don't see a world where you'd buy an Overflod Imorgon before you'd buy an Italy GTO, and if you have an Italy GTO, there's no reason to have an Imorgon, unless for some reason you like the look of this car, which I would be skeptical that you actually think that. I would almost say that you're probably lying. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I just hate this car. I really don't hate it though. Like, the performance is very good. It's just ugly. It's just an ugly car, which that doesn't mean that you can't have it, obviously, but it's just, why would you buy it when you can get an Italy GTO for cheaper and it looks better and performs better, you know what I mean? So that's just kind of where I'm at. So I can't necessarily say I recommend the Overflod Imorgon. Get an Italy GTO if you don't have one already. If not, just probably save your money, because there's not really a point in getting the Overflod Imorgon. So anyway, guys, that's it for the Overflod Imorgon customization and review in Grand Theft Auto Online. Let me know what you guys thought of my customization in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of the Overflod Imorgon. Leave a like if you enjoyed, dislike if you didn't. Of course, subscribe to my channel if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.